Hi everyone, this is Rich from the Rich Maxwell channel. Welcome back. If you're new, the channel is about drones, photography, and generally just cool gadgets and things that I'm into. So even sometimes put a bit of mountain biking sort of content on here as well, as that's one of my hobbies, and also like to sometimes share some travel videos. So subscribe please if you're into those sorts of things. Anyway, this video is going to be about the top 5 drones that are available right now in 2021. So as of now, it's November 2021. Just last week, the Mavic 3 dropped and it looks incredible. So obviously the Mavic 3 is going to be in this top 5 drone list, as it's the latest and greatest from the top drone company, DJI. But straight away I'm going to say it's not number 1. It would be easy for me to just say, yeah, that's number 1 as it's the latest flagship drone. But for me, this list I've put thought into, it's more about the value sort of proposition and versus the features that you're getting. So it's not number 1 for me. So let's get into it then. So number 5 is going to be the DJI Mini 2. So the DJI Mini 2 has made this list because it's very competitively priced. There is the Mavic Mini as well, which is slightly cheaper, but the Mini 2 offers a few features over that. So I think it's worth just getting for the little extras like 4K video and a bit more in terms of being able to shoot raw photos and various other little things. So the Mini 2, for me, what looks really interesting about it is that it's under 250 grams, and the drone laws, regulations here in the UK, to be honest, they're just awful. It's like I've got a Mavic 2 Pro. I barely ever get to fly it because anywhere that I want to fly it, there's rules against drones. It's really hard to be 50 meters away from uninvolved people all the time, and I've got the A2C competency, so I can fly closer to people. So that means I can fly 50 meters from uninvolved people, but there's just people all around all the time, so it's really hard to follow these drone rules here in the UK. But with the Mini 2, you haven't got to worry so much about it, as it's under 250 grams. You can fly over uninvolved people, you can fly all over the place. You can't fly over crowds, but you can fly near to buildings and all sorts of things. It gives you a lot more flexibility to actually use your drone. So that's what we want to do, isn't it, really? We want to get some shots and footage. So that, for me, puts the Mini 2 strongly into the number 5 position on the list. Could even have gone higher up the list for those reasons as well. Number 4 on the list, I'm going to put in my Mavic 2 Pro. I had to include it somewhere because I do just have a soft spot for this drone. It's the drone that I wanted to get for ages. I had a Mavic Air before, and I had Hudson Cine, I've had a Mavic Mini, but always wanted a Mavic 2 Pro because it's got some fantastic features. It produces outstanding images and video footage with its 1-inch Hasselblad camera sensor. It's got D-Log footage which you can color grade and really easily bring out the highlights and shadows nicely as you want to in the video footage. It's very sturdy in wind. It's got active track, so you can set it to follow you. And it's got variable aperture, which is fantastic for video shooting in particular, as it means you haven't got to, if the light suddenly changes, you haven't got to get the drone down and swap an ND filter or anything like that. You can just change the aperture, and that enables you to keep your shutter speed where you want it to be versus your frame rate. And pricing wise, it's not too bad. It's $1349 for the Fly More combo, or $1049 for the drone on its own. Now, I picked it up used for $850 with the Fly More bundle, and it was like brand new. I think the batteries had only one of them had been charged once, so I'd recommend just looking for a good used deal if you can, as there's probably going to be plenty out there, particularly now that the Mavic 3 is out. So number 3 on the list is the only non-DJI drone to make the list. So I thought I'd include this one because it's a drone that I've seen a lot of YouTube videos about, and it looks fantastic spec-wise and feature-wise in terms of what you're getting. The only trouble is though, it's not very readily available here in the UK. So the drone I'm talking about is the Autel Evo II. So the Autel Evo II offers 10-bit video again, 1-inch camera, so similar to the Mavic 2 Pro. It's got 40 minutes flight time, so that's beating the, I think, 31 minutes we get from the Mavic 2 Pro. And it also does 6K video. So 6K video, I mean, that's just fantastic. Obviously, you'll need a good computer to be able to edit 6K video, but it's going to offer you the chance to be able to zoom in on footage and do some crops, and really just gives you more flexibility in your editing. It's also got 120 megabits per second bit rate on the video. And pricing wise, it's $1779, and it's only available, from what I can see, through Drones Direct here in the UK. So it looks like that's the only distributor for it for some reason. So pricing, it will probably rule it out for a lot of people, but like I said, it looks a really good drone, so if it does come down from there, it might be a really good one to look into if you're looking for a new drone. Now, we're on to number 2 on the list now, and this is going to be the Mavic 3. Like I said, it had to appear in the list, but I don't think it's the number 1 drone right now. The Mavic 3 has got a really impressive list of features. It's got the largest sensor out of any of the drones that I'm talking about here, with a 4/3 sensor. It's got Hasselblad color science, again, like the Mavic 2 Pro. It's got 200 megabits per second bitrate for video footage. It's got 46 minutes flight time, which is just incredible. Obviously, you're never going to get quite the quoted number of minutes that manufacturers say, as things like wind and how you're actually flying will affect your flight time, but you're looking at about 2 hours flight time off your free batteries if you have the Fly More combo. And it does 5.1K video, it does 4K 120 frames per second. So if you want to really slow down your drone footage, like if you're filming say sporting events or some action, then that's great as a feature to have. The only problems with it, I think, are that the telephoto lens is pretty basic. It's a nice feature to have, but the telephoto lens only does JPEG and auto exposure at the moment. So for a drone like this, at the price that it's at, you want the full manual sort of experience, don't you, really? Whether you're a pro photographer, a videographer, or an enthusiast like myself, you want to be able to set your own exposures and yeah, get raw files as well, so you can edit them. But it's only offering JPEG on the telephoto, which I thought was a bit strange. And pricing wise, this is where I think it's really knocked itself off the top spot, because it's $1879 for the base drone. So very expensive. I mean, it's not too much more than the Autel Evo II. I'll give it that, and it is probably going to be worth getting that, the Mavic 3 over the Autel Evo, so hence it's a place above it. But $1879, it's going to just put it out of price range for most people that are hobbyists and enthusiasts like myself. And then it's $2479 for the Fly More combo, which, I mean, the main feature of the Fly More combo is you get a couple of extra batteries. So 600 quid for a couple of extra batteries and some ND filters and a bag. That's just madness. All these other DJI drones, the Fly More bundles, have been about £200-300 more, not £600 more. And then, as well as the Fly More combo, they've also got this Cine bundle, which offers Apple ProRes codec and a 1TB SSD. So that's it for £1,800 over the normal Fly More combo. You're getting a different video codec and a 1TB SSD. Now, a 1TB SSD costs what, 80 quid for your PC? So how they could justify £1,800 just for that and a new codec is just unbelievable, in my opinion. So that is the main reason why I'm putting the Mavic 3 at number 2. Now, number 1 on the list is the Mavic Air2s. So could have easily included the Mavic Air 2 in this list, but because they're quite closely priced, I mean, the Mavic Air 2 is a bit cheaper, I thought it's just not going to be worth getting a Mavic Air 2 when the Air2s offers so much more for not much more. So it's giving you a 20 megapixel camera, it's got 31 minutes flight time, 1-inch camera sensor, 10-bit D-Log video similar to the Mavic 2 Pro, and it's got active trap 3.0, so that's better than the Mavic 2 Pro. It's going to follow you better, avoid obstacles better, and just help you get some really nice footage that way. It's got 5.4K video, so again, like I said with the Autel Evo, that enables you to really sort of cut in and punch in on scenes a bit better and really keep the detail in them. It does 4K up to 60 frames per second, so it's not quite what the Mavic 3 does with the 120, but 60 will still let you slow things down a bit and get some cool action shots in slow motion, so that's pretty good. It'll also do the 120 frames per second on, I think, 2.7K or 240 frames per second on 1080p, I believe. Might need to double check those two, but I know there is much faster shutters, frame rates anyway, on the lower resolutions, which should be fine for most people. And now, pricing wise, it's only $899 for the base drone or $1169 for the Fly More combo. So, I mean, wow, that's just incredible. I mean, you're getting features that are beating the Mavic 2 Pro for much less money. And the only thing that it's missing that the Mavic 2 Pro has is the variable aperture. So if you can live without that, then get the Air2s. That's the drone of choice for me right now. I think it's probably not going to be worth me selling my Mavic 2 Pro to get it, because features aren't that much different. But if I was buying a drone right now and didn't already have the Mavic 2 Pro, the Air2s is the one that I'd buy, as it is just superb value-wise. So I hope this list has been interesting, and please be sure to let me know in the comments what you think and what you think of this list. And obviously don't be don't give me a hard time or anything, keep it all friendly, but let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. And I hope to hear from you all again soon. Please join me again for more videos. Maybe have a look over my other content. If you like the video, be sure to give it a like and share and all that sort of stuff. So bye for now, everyone. Have a great day.